Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery here. We get together with our distribution partners most weekday mornings at 8 o'clock Central. Our goal through these daily Zooms is to talk strategy, to address techniques, share success stories, and certainly support each of you. And so with that being said, today's training is going to be a top 10 list. Any of you that are old enough to remember David Letterman, he had a late night show and he was famous for his top 10 lists. So we're going to go through a top 10 list of why you should be considering signing clients up for the guaranteed financing program. Now, I'm going to preface this with, and I'll scroll down to the bottom. On one of the recent trainings, we put together, I think, a really good training to describe how the program works in terms of financial literacy and loan packaging and credibility building. So if you've not watched that, you're not familiar with that, then that would be a disadvantage for you. And so we have added that as a bullet here at the bottom of the page. But let's make this a bit larger. What we'll do is we'll go through and talk through the top 10 reasons why you should be signing clients up for the guaranteed financing program today. And then we'll go through and make sure you understand how to do it. So we'll start with the why, and then we'll go to the how. Make sense? Okay, top 10 reasons. Now, keep in mind, and of course, this is addressed through our overview of how the program works. There are different lenders and there are different lending programs. So don't make the mistake of thinking there's just one bucket of money and we've got to go to that one bucket to get clients funded, because that's not true. There are different sources of capital and each have their own underwriting criteria. So in truth, there are many, many different buckets of money. And it's by developing the loan package that we figure out which bucket is right for the given client's mitigating circumstances. But with all that set aside, let's talk about the 10 reasons why you should sign up clients for the guaranteed financing program today. And you could twist this to say why clients should sign up with you. Because if they're signing up with you, you're making money and we're helping them. Everyone's happy. All right, reason number one, and frankly, these aren't in any specific order, like one is more important than 10 or 10 is more important than one, just 10 reasons. So through our lending partners, we're able to get approvals quickly now. We can get approvals typically same day, in many cases, just within a few hours. So that's great news. Funding is occurring quicker than ever, and funding can occur as quickly as the same day. Now, you and I are the technical advisors. We're not the lenders. So you and I technically aren't sending money to anyone. We're the technical advisors building financial literacy, building the loan package, and helping clients get credible enough. But this is pretty powerful. Funding in as soon as the same day, and the record thus far is under 2 hours. Which is outstanding. Of course, what we're doing is working on a nationwide basis, so it's not specific to a given state or states. Now, the truth is there's different lenders and some only work in given geographic areas, but regardless, You're My Program, what you and I are taking out, can help clients anywhere across the country. And we have specialized lending programs that fall into 3 categories. You could call this business financing if you want, but we'll call it working capital here, equipment financing, real estate financing. If any of you have cared to look at the application that the client fills out, we do ask them to break down their capital needs in these 3 different categories because they do operate a bit differently. Most industries considered. So, of course, the key filters is it needs to be a legal industry. If they're doing child porn, human trafficking, fentanyl distribution, anything like that, we can't help them. And then also needs to be US based, which was kind of implied up here. Lots of different financing sizes. You're going to have some clients that need a little bit of money. You're going to have some clients that need a lot of money. I was visiting with a new client yesterday. Well, I guess a prospect. He hasn't signed yet. I think he's going to sign today, but he's in the mining industry, so he needs millions and millions and millions of dollars. That's fine. I told you about the casino that we're working on in Las Vegas. It's the largest project to date, and they're looking for around 150 million. So projects can be very large, or they can be much smaller. 100% financing is available, no minimum time in business, credit scores as low as 500, custom payment structures. What that would mean is maybe the client wants a delayed payment so they don't have a first payment due for a while. Payments can be set up on a seasonal basis, step payments, or even semi-annual payments. But at the end of the day, as a white label partner, which most of you are, and if you're not, we can help you get set up. It's free and easy to do so. You're controlling how much you get paid. So while we can talk about all the attributes of the funding program from the client's perspective, I realize you probably care most about what's in it for you. Well, frankly, you control that, right? Because as a white label partner, you are determining what the clients pay. Now, typically, what most white label partners do is have a refundable deposit that the client pays. $2,500 is the norm. You could set it higher or lower, you know that, but normally it's $2,500, and that covers the cost of developing the client's loan package. So that gets money in your hands immediately today. And I know that's maybe an insult. A lot of you make a lot of money, and an extra $2,500 today, it's not a big deal, but that is the first iteration of cash to you. And then the larger amount is the performance fee that's based upon the client's capital raise. So each time they raise a tranche of capital, then they're paying you whatever you set in your agreement, which we'll talk about in a moment. 10% is pretty normal. When I was talking to the CEO of the company yesterday that has the mining company, he frankly was pushing back a little bit on the 10%, and I don't remember exactly. Let's say he's looking for 10 million. I truthfully don't remember. It was a big amount, but let's say it's 10 million. And so he's like, well, I'm going to pay you $1 million. That's too much. And so what we negotiated is, instead of reducing the performance fee, we increased the loan amount from 10 million to 11 million. So that way he's still netting his 10 million and we're still getting paid our 10%. So you can be creative in that way. So I think you would most likely agree these are some pretty attractive attributes of why clients should participate. And of course, when we talk about the guaranteed financing program, we guarantee them in writing that they'll get financing, they'll get funding, so they're not taking any risk. Plus, there's all these positive attributes. Plus, there's great, well, maybe you don't consider great, there's decent financial reward for you. If you're helping 8 clients a month, which is our goal as a white label partner, and you're making a very modest $12,500 a piece, that's an extra $100,000 as a side income. I realize, again, a lot of you are big hitters. Got Jeremy on the line that probably doesn't even move his bank account, but you know, for the average person to be able to help 8 clients a month and earn an extra 6 digits, it's a good side gig. All right, so let's talk about the how, because I don't know that there's any questions about how valuable, how desirable this is, that if you presented this properly, of course, to clients, and you might want to use this video or a variation of it so they understand how the program works. We can create a custom version of that for you if you want. But with this proposition, especially with guaranteed financing, they're guaranteed, legally, contractually guaranteed to get funding. I don't think you're going to have trouble closing people. Now, with that being said, let's talk about how to sign up a client. So this is not new information, it's just reiterating it, then we'll open it up for conversation. So obviously you want to be a white label partner. It's free and easy. If you aren't one already, let us know. You can email us or text us. We add new white label partners every day, and there's just a lot of excitement around this. So if you're a white label partner, great, proceed to the next bullet. So then you need to get your client under contract. Well, how do you do that? Well, we've provided you in your white label drop box. You say, oh, wait, I don't have a white label drop box. Well, that's a problem, isn't it? Then you need to email us or text us and let us know, hey, I don't have my white label drop box, or I don't know how to access it, or I can't get in. So if that's a procedural problem, let us know. Shouldn't be, and we'll resolve it if it is. But the bottom line is there's an editable contract template in your white label drop box, and it's entitled Guaranteed Business Financing Agreement. It's a Word document, Microsoft Word. So you'll want to edit it to be relevant to you, because the contract's between you and the client, and you control the pricing. So then you need to have the client sign it, because if the client doesn't sign the agreement, they're not a client, they're a prospect. And we could go help them get lots of money, and they really wouldn't owe you any money, or it would be an oral agreement, which would be horrible to try to enforce, because they would say, no, I didn't agree to that. And you'd say, yes, they did. And it would be a big battle. So we always want to have agreements in writing. So once you have the client sign it, and you can have them sign it however you want. You can use e-signature with Adobe or DocuSign, or however you want to have them sign the contract. It doesn't really matter to us. It's between you and them. But go ahead and upload that into white label Dropbox, so we know we have an executed agreement to work off of. And then you're going to go ahead and collect the refundable deposit. Now, refundable, you could make it refundable or not. You know, here we said typically. So if you don't want it to be refundable, then mark through it. It's not refundable. It's just a non-refundable deposit. If you want it to be more than 2,500, collect more than 2,500. If you want it to be less than 2,500, collect less than 2,500. Obviously, do what you say that you'll do. That's in the agreement. But just assuming that you're working off the normal template, normal model, then you're going to collect the refundable deposit from the client, and that is covering the development of their loan package. Once we have the client under contract and you've been paid, now we're rolling forward. So now we're going to go ahead and get the application from the client. I would not recommend spending time or energy getting the application from the client until they've signed the agreement and they've paid you the deposit. That's why it's a separate bullet here, isn't it? So then you're going to obtain the application from the client. You might say, well, Tom, that's a problem. I don't know where this application is. Well, again, it's in your white label Dropbox. If you don't know how to get to your Dropbox, you don't have one, it doesn't work. If there's any issue with the white label Dropbox, what did we say? Let us know. We'll figure it out. And that editable application is called the Guaranteed Financing Application. Pretty good title, isn't it? It's well described. So you can help them complete it. I mean, it's pretty intuitive. There's not much to it, but anyway, they need to complete that. And then again, you upload that into your white label Dropbox. So now for that client, you have the agreement in the white label Dropbox, and you have their application, and you're going to notify us via text or email, text or email, and say, all right, Tom, we've got a client ready. Client's contract and applications in mine, meaning your white label Dropbox, and then we implement. So who has questions on today's lesson? So we have different campaigns that you can help small businesses with. This will probably be your most frequently used one going forward. Very, very strong. Client has guaranteed financing, many positive attributes associated with it, and you make a good income. And again, you all come from such different backgrounds. For some of you, earning an extra $12,500 per client is a tremendous economic impact. For some of you, like Jeremy, he makes that on an average day, right? So I understand that it varies, but regardless, you're controlling the pricing. So the question Jose asked, is the cannabis industry allowed? And the answer is yes, that is an approved industry. All right, other questions, comments, concerns, because at some point we've got to kind of toss the ball to you and say it's time to play, right? And so if you're set up as a white label partner, you should have the Dropbox. You should have the resources. If you need a refresher of how the program works, we've covered that in prior trainings, and here's the link. And by the way, I sent this out to all of you this morning. So you should have this morning the reminder for today's training, the invitation for today's training, and this agenda. So you'll have it. So you don't have to like write down the URL for the YouTube, for example. Any other questions? Because it's frankly up to you. It's up to you, Collis, to go out and get some clients enrolled. It's up to you, Frankie, to go out and get some clients enrolled. It's up to you, Lon, to go out and get some clients enrolled. Tony, it's up to you to go out and get clients enrolled. So we can train you, we can support you, we can help you understand some key talking points. We can show you the process, but you've got to execute. You got to execute. And if you execute, you're going to make money, you're going to help people. If you don't execute, you're not going to help people. You're not going to make money, and you're not going to remain in good standing as a white label partner. White label partners have promised, they've agreed to help at least 8 clients a month. Today, we're on September 8th. We should already have at least 2 clients enrolled thus far in the month of September. If not, it's okay. We got time to correct it. But that's the promise that you made. And we're here every day talking about training. We're doing training and talking about strategies and techniques, sharing success stories. But you got to execute. Got to execute. You won't make any money if you don't execute. Any questions, comments, concerns on the 10 reasons that you should sign up clients for the Guaranteed Financing Program today? All right, so Timothy's asking, I guess, a good fundamental question. So when are you open for business? So if you signed up as a white label partner, and we've had 2 sign up this morning already, but when you sign up as a white label partner, we're sending you an onboarding email. We're secondly setting up your white label Dropbox. And thirdly, we're sending you a text to let you know, hey, check your email for those 2 items, the onboarding email and the Dropbox. And so at that point, once you've taken this contract template and edited it with your information, your pricing, you're now open for business. I mean, we have people that sign up and within an hour or 2, they're signing up clients, right? There's not some long lead time. So if you don't know what to do, you've got to raise your hand and let us know, because we feel that we're creating a system that is easily understood and reproducible. So if you need help, you've got to let us know. And the best way would be email or text. All right, Dawood is asking, would you recommend using the hybrid model? So let's reintroduce that for those of you that aren't familiar. The hybrid model that we've talked about in the past is essentially leading with free education, free financial literacy. And if you're like, well, I don't know what the hell Tom's talking about, go back and look at the model training, and you'll see that one of the 3 inputs is financial literacy. So Dawood's correct. You could start with bringing people in for the free financial literacy. Doesn't cost them anything. And we'll take care of doing that for you. You don't have to do it. In other words, you don't have to take them through the modules. You don't have to help them create their business plan. You don't have to do the mentoring, if you will. And then you could then pivot them over to the financing program. So that is a very good point, Dawood, and that is a good strategy. So your sales process could be to bring people directly in, or as Dawood is suggesting on the hybrid model, feed them into the financial literacy and then pivot them out of that into the Guaranteed Financing Program. So that's fine, and that's just a difference in your sales model. That's up to you. And if anyone not familiar with the hybrid model, we can revisit that on a future training, or you can go back to the YouTube channel and see some past trainings on that. Who else has questions, comments, concerns on the Guaranteed Financing Program? And if you have any questions on it, of course, we're here to help you. But keep in mind, you will want to remember that you have the actual agreement in your Dropbox, right? And you can change it as you want. So there shouldn't be any misunderstanding on your part of what's in the agreement, because A, we've provided you the editable agreement in your Dropbox, and B, you can make any changes you want between you and the client, right? Okay. Who else has any questions? We got to go out and execute. We got to go out and implement. For those of you that are white label partners, and if you're not on track to sign up at least 8 clients a month, they're going to start sending out notices that you're out of compliance. And no one wants to receive an ugly letter that says you're in breach of the agreement. We don't want that. We want to do whatever we need to do within reason to help you be successful. And so here is further effort of our intent, our willingness, our desire to help you be successful. But please, please help at least 8 clients a month. That's what you promised to do, and we're here to help you get there. Any questions, comments, concerns before we wrap up today's training on the 10 reasons that you should sign up clients for the Guaranteed Financing Program? All right, we do have one final question from Susan. So Susan is asking, and I don't think she's baiting me, but she's asking. So Susan's asking, oh, so anyone with a 500 credit is guaranteed for $5 million? No, that's not what we're saying. So what we are saying is that there's different lenders and different lending programs that each have their own underwriting criteria. We need to have the loan package to figure out what the client needs and wants, determine which lending program we should proceed with. And then with that being said, everything on this page is true, of course. We're not going to lie. We're not going to exaggerate. We're not going to mislead. So can approvals be issued in as fast as few hours? Yes, absolute truth. I'm not an attorney. I'm a paralegal. Any of you that have gone to a law school or paralegal school, you learn about the 3 levels of truth. There's absolute truth, there's absolutely false, and then there's conditional truth or false. So is it true that approvals can be issued as fast as a few hours? Absolutely. Will that always be the case? No, because it could vary based upon the client circumstances, the application and such. But this is true that it can be as fast as a few hours, that funding can be on the same day, that financing is of these ranges, that 100% financing is available, that there's lending programs that do not require minimum time in business, that there are lending programs that will allow 500 plus. So it doesn't say automatically approved, but that as low as a 500 score can be approved. So just keep that in mind. I know people want simplicity, but what you and I do is we say it's not rocket science, but it's not always simple. So we need the loan package, and from the loan package, we can decide on the right funding type. Again, if you're not really familiar and comfortable with how the program works, the training that we recently did where we had the funnel and the 3 balls, and we talked about credibility issues, is really good to understand. Okay, any other questions before we wrap it up today? It's time to go to work, right? It's time to go sign up clients, close clients, get them under contract, right? That's what we need to do. We need to get clients under contract. We need to get you paid. September should be a very big month. If you don't make 100,000 this month from helping at least 8 clients, then somehow we're failing. We don't want that to happen. All right, well, we'll see you back tomorrow morning. Have a great day, everyone.